What is good, all my trader investor homies? It's your boy Kevin from Touchdown Trades, your trading BFF, your stock market bestie. On this channel, we love talking about EV companies, especially the companies that are up and coming. Typically, the stocks we discuss are the EV auto manufacturers themselves. But today we're going to be switching things up just a little bit, and we're going to be talking about an EV charging company, a company that makes the charging stations for the EV cars. I believe this EV charging company to be extremely undervalued. The company that I'm talking about is BLNK Charging. We've talked about this company in the past, but a lot has changed since the last time we talked about them. I invested in this company back when it was trading around $5 a share. It then ran up to over $14 a share, an absolutely insane move, but it has since sold off due to some short sellers coming out with reports that BLNK was misrepresenting some facts. In today's video, we're going to break down BLNK. We're going to be talking about one of the top EV penny stocks that I'm looking to invest in right now. We'll break down the business model, the fundamentals, and the technicals, as well as go over the recent accusations. So stay tuned and let's get it. Trader and investor homies, let's do it. Let's talk about this BLNK Charging. Before we get started though, I put a ton of time into these videos, a ton of time into the research, the due diligence, breaking down the companies. So if you could just give me an early thumbs up, go ahead and give the like button, the old Touchdown Trades, snake eye jab in the eyes. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new to the channel, we talk about the top stocks in the market every single day. So if you're into that type of thing, consider subscribing. All right, this BLNK Charging, one of my favorite EV penny stocks, one of the top penny stocks that I'm looking to invest in right now. We're going to be breaking it down. Let's take a quick look at the chart and I'll talk about what's happened over the last few months with this BLNK Charging. We can see that it made a huge run up as the EV sector was very strong. I invested in this company way back here at like $5.20 a share on this day when it pulled back into that $5 area. It then made a huge move and I sold a third of my position, and I sold out up near the highs. And then a short seller came out with reports that BLNK was misrepresenting some facts and this thing sold off. But I'm going to talk about why this short seller report, why I personally don't believe it, and why I think we're getting this BLNK at an excellent discounted price. Let's get it. This BLNK Charging manufactures and manages both commercial charging stations, like you can find them at a mall. When you park your car at a mall, you can charge your EV car while you go inside and shop. And they also manufacture and sell residential charging stations that you can put inside your garage and charge your car while your car is parked inside your own garage at your house. This is one of their commercial charging stations right here. We can see it's just like any other charging station you've seen at any shopping mall or grocery store around the country. Here we got a map of the locations of all the BLNK charging stations deployed around the United States. They got over 5,600 commercial charging stations around the United States. They've sold over 9,000 residential units and a total of 15,000 EV charging stations throughout the United States. So they have a pretty massive network of charging stations around the country. This little infographic here is one of the main reasons that I'm bullish on this BLNK stock, because of the vast growing exponential growth of the EV market in the United States. We can see that the expected sales of EV cars are just astronomically growing in the country. So all these EV cars are expected to be sold. The market is expanding. So these people, these customers who are buying EV cars, they are going to need a charging station, right? It's just common math. You have a car that runs on a battery. You're going to be driving that car around the country. Of course, you're going to need to stop and charge that car. So who's going to be manufacturing these EV stations, these EV charging stations, where these people who are driving around in electric cars are going to be able to stop and refill their battery. Well, it's not very complicated. BLNK is going to be one of those beneficiaries. They're going to benefit from this growing market. By the year 2025, 30% of all cars sold are expected to be electric. That is an astronomical number. So imagine by the year 2040, for example, I would say 60-70% of all cars are going to be EV, if not all cars, because the government is looking at legislation that is going to require that gas cars are going to be phased out of the marketplace and replaced by electric cars, especially as we get more progressive in the country, especially if the election goes in the way of a Joe Biden versus a Donald Trump. We're going to be looking at that number going way higher in a faster time frame. Now, I don't want it to come off like I'm endorsing Joe Biden. I never get political on this channel, but it's just simple. It's a fact that Joe Biden is going to be more progressive if he's elected president towards the EV manufacturers. He's going to be wanting to implement more environmental standards versus a more conservative Donald Trump. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm coming off in favor of Joe Biden or in favor of Donald Trump. I don't care. I'm just looking to position myself to take advantage of the coming trends and the future of this EV wave. All the car companies are trying to get involved in this EV wave. We have Tesla, which has taken over the EV sector, and all of these big car companies are trying to play catch up. Just last week, or just a few weeks ago, we had this GM enter into a partnership with Nikola, where GM got a 11% stake in Nikola in return for consideration. Basically, GM's going to manufacture the Nikola Badger. It came out that Nikola was probably involved in some kind of fraudulent acts where they didn't represent their capabilities, their EV capabilities properly to investors, and GM still backed Nikola. And what that tells me is that these car companies know that the future is EV, and they're willing to do anything to get caught up with Tesla. And that just shows that the EV wave is the future, and that we need to be positioned to take advantage of that with these companies who are up and coming. We have a little infographic of the family of BLNK chargers. On the left side of the screen, we have the residential charger. In the middle here, we have the level 2 commercial charger that you'd find at any mall or grocery store. Here we have a portable charger where you could probably put in the back of a big EV truck. So where if you're driving down an isolated area, you ran out of battery, you could park it and charge up your truck real quick. And here we have the DC fast commercial charging units. They're pretty sleek little charging stations. I like the look of them, and I think this company is on the right track. Here is where the real money is going to be made. So this level 2 commercial charger has the option to charge based on time used or the amount of energy put into the battery. So I don't believe they're going to be making the money off of selling the actual units. For example, they could sell a charging station for $2,000 to a shopping mall and just make $2,000. Or they could give that shopping mall the charging station for free and then charge based on the amount of people who are using the charging station to charge their car. So I believe the money in the long term is not going to be selling these charging stations. I think it's going to be giving these charging stations away to shopping malls, grocery stores, just businesses in general. The businesses will put the charging stations in front of their location. Customers will come up, swipe their credit card, and get charged $5-10 to recharge their battery. And over the course of years, that adds up to way more than the initial cost of giving away the charging station for free in the beginning. So the long-term outlook for doing a fee-based charging station is the future for this sector, for this business, for the charging business as a whole. Here we have a list of BLNK's clients and customers, and I really like this down here. We have Whole Foods, IKEA, Kroger, Shell, McDonald's, Carl's Jr.'s, tons of high-profile clients, and I expect this list to grow as we move on. Okay, let's talk about the short seller report that pretty much crushed BLNK stock price. It was trading up near $14. This report came out, and then over the next couple of weeks, it pulled back all the way back down towards like $6 a share. So a short seller came out and basically accused BLNK of manipulating its stock price by coming out with false representations. Basically, they said that BLNK is claiming to have way more charging stations than they actually do. The short seller said they drove around the country and found a bunch of broken charging stations and charging stations that weren't even there. And if this was a big time short seller who had a track record of telling the truth, that would be one thing. But this is a short seller that has a track record of lying and losing big on their positions, and they are just not a reputable short seller. The name of the short seller is Culper Research, and here's a list of their last 3 or 4 trades that they took. And let's take a look on how they did on these trades. So their last trade, IRTC was the ticker. They shorted it. They lost 40%. Before that, PUMP, they lost 25%. Before that, HROW, they lost 28%. And the kicker here, ARTC, they lost a whopping 65%. This company, Culper Research, does not even really have a website. Their website is sketchy. We don't know who is publishing these reports. There's no name on the report, which is just sketchy in itself. I've looked over the Culper Research report. I can't find any names. Sure, some of the stuff they're saying is alarming, but I don't believe a word they say because it's just some guy, it could be some guy in his basement who wrote this up, took a little short position in BLNK, and is publishing these reports hoping to cause the stock to crash. And I've gone over the report and I can't verify any of these claims. I trust a company that is SEC regulated more than I do some dude wearing whitey-tighties in his basement publishing short reports that doesn't even put a name on it. He doesn't have a name on this report. His website is poorly done, and there's not even a name on the website. I tried to do a whois to find out who the website is registered to, and they have it blocked to where you can't find out. So this is a sketchy short seller. If it was a big-time short seller like Citron Research, it would be a different story, but this is a no-name short seller coming out with a hit piece, trying to get a quick drop and manipulate the stock price. I truly believe that. So one thing that is encouraging to me is that BLNK, their earnings per share this year increased 70% year over year. And you cannot lie about that because that is SEC regulated. The SEC looks at those numbers, they dive into your financials, and they make sure you're telling the truth. So there's no way they could have doctored the earnings per share growth of 70% year over year. And I expect that earnings per share growth to continue to grow exponentially over the next 3, 4, 5, 6, even 10 years. All right, so now that we've talked about why I am in love with this company, why I like the long-term growth aspects of this BLNK charging, let's talk about my plan with this company, where I'm looking to get in, and I'll put a price target and where I think this stock can potentially go to. Let's take a look at the daily chart and I'll talk about my plan and my price target on this BLNK charging. Okay, so we're currently trading. We had a nice day today. We're up about 13% on the day. So I'm going to be looking for a pullback back towards $7 a share. And I'll be buying any pullback towards $7 a share. And I'm potentially looking for this thing to hold the $6 area. I like that we have a nice area of support around $6. And I'll be looking for this thing to make a move back towards the $11, $12, and $13 area. And once we get up there, I'll consider what I want to do with this thing. Am I looking to hold it, looking for all-time highs? Probably so, because I just have that much belief in this company's potential and the long-term outlook of these EV charging company. I hope you guys got something from this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the like button for me. I really appreciate you guys. I love every single one of y'all. If you're not yet a subscriber, what are you doing? Go ahead and subscribe as well. Hit that notification bell so you can be alerted whenever I post a new video. We're trying to get one up every single day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace.
Drop.